Okay, Mary, listen up, okay? Because this is important, because you never listen. To participate in ROTC in high school, students generally need to be a U.S. citizen, have a high school diploma or equivalent, meet minimum GPA requirements, typically 2.5, and meet physical standards. They may also need to take an SAT and or ACT and pass a medical examination. And you know what the other requirement is that you agree to sign on after graduation. Now, you're such a little silly liar. This is a new one for you, isn't it? The ROTC, no kidding. The girl that couldn't even walk around Stone Mountain was in ROTC. About that age, too, wasn't you? Yeah, I'm going to have to retell that story because I don't think people have seen it. You know, your eye on this little doll here is looking like your eye did in that video. Kind of funny to me. You're looking a little haggard. I think the doll's getting to you. ROTC, I'm going to tell you what, that about made me fall out the truck. That's a newbie. I'll tell you something else you're lying about. You didn't love your brother. You didn't care at all. You didn't care when he died. You didn't care when he lived. You didn't care when he was born. You only cared about you. And you never baked a cake in your life until you were in your late 20s. I remember when you did it. Mom called me so excited because you were actually trying to make a cake. And you wanted people to think. Oh, and your the officer, he was just in tears. Well, I imagine he was, dumbass. He didn't know you. You walking in there like you know him. You in a class with a GPA of, good Lord. You need to come up with some better believable lies. That's your problem. I was talking to Brett about that. And he was like, I don't know why it surprises you. She's a pathological liar. That's all she does. Because him and I both were laughing at your ROTC bullshit. That is too funny. Baking a cake and you taking a card into there and the tears. What was you trying to copy? An officer and a gentleman? What was it? The officer and a gentleman? You know, where he carries her off. You were so funny. You couldn't even. We rode up to the mountain and we had to hike down. And because of your lazy ass, we missed the train to go back to the parking lot. Remember that? I do. Had to walk around. Out of all the children that were with me that day, you were the only one holding your head and crying. Just get me, Ma. Hee-haw, she'll come. No, you expected me to get a car to come and pick you up. How am I supposed to do that without a phone? No, everybody else was okay just walking around that mountain to get to the parking lot. But not you, not little Miss Snotty Pants. You just couldn't do it. But you were in ROTC. You weighed 300 pounds, but you were in ROTC. Physical requirements, you failed that one. Mental requirement, you failed that one. Academically, you were still in 3rd grade when everybody else was in high school. Come on, get a little more serious about your stories. You're unraveling. You're looking a little haggard. It's a shame you couldn't reach that apple juice earlier. Even if you had, I'd have kicked you away from it. Because I wouldn't let you have a drop if it was the last apple juice in the entire world. And you were parched nearly to death while I was sitting there all hydrated and, comfortable and, enjoying just lots of apple juice. I wouldn't let you have a drop of it. I was seriously thinking when we make this trip to your brother, I don't think I'm going to leave you there. Quite honestly, I'm having too much fun with it to leave you there. I think you got a few more windows to hang out of. Didn't you enjoy being on the sunroof today? You were trying to get in, weren't you? No, dummy, you can't get in. Just like you can't get in ROTC. Come up with better lies. For God's sake, you are getting totally pathetic. Do you hear me? Get that eye back into the proper place. You really looking haggard, I'm telling you. I'm sorry now, I'm snorting. Shit, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen and heard. The sun got to you today, didn't it? It didn't me. But we done come back and ate and showered, and he's off now again. He's going to get the truck washed. Because you know that salt air just rust a vehicle right out. Did you know that? Bet you didn't. You ain't never had a vehicle. You are so pathetic. You loved your brother. And you couldn't help but leave him. But I, who lived in Georgia, you thought I should know what's going on and just go down there and take them people's child away from them. That's so funny. You're so stupid. Lie some more. You sorry sack of shit. Look at you, got hair hanging out your nose. Your eyes all wandering off into left field. Your hair's a total disaster. Look at your mouth. You got snot done run down your face and on your lip. That is disgusting. You always were nasty. Smearing blood all over the place. Couldn't even... Your bathroom at your hee-haws was like a contaminated area. Nobody could go in there. It was toxic. It needed crime tape over it. You remember how Angela would always direct her boys to their great-grandmother's room? They called her great-grandmother because they had respect. Unlike, they didn't run around going, hee-haw, hee-haw. Well, that's you. Me and Martha laughed about that up until the last week of her life. That's the funniest thing we both have. That's our cherished memory. Cherished memories, I tell you. They something. ROTC. God. I could have stayed home and thought I'd been on vacation with you going to being in ROTC. Naval. You know, being prepared to become an officer in the United States military. Maybe when Biden was president, you could have. But, sorry. Let me get off of here. Oh, I got a few more things. We ain't even talked about Bubba yet, have we? You know, Bubba Shrimp. And no, I'm not done with you yet. No, I'm not.